Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's been a while. Haven't really felt like making videos, to be honest. But I thought today, even though I'm not really feeling it, I thought today I'd do a makeup video. It's been a while. And yeah, I guess let's get started. I kind of do my makeup a bit differently nowadays. I don't know, like, to be honest, it's just, what am I looking for that? I don't know why I do it differently now, but I feel like as I've gotten older-ish, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know why. Whether it's just because I just have a different style now and my makeup reflects that. But I'm not really feeling that confident today. Kind of in a meh kind of mood. So I thought, fuck it. Someone set my mind off it. So I use concealer now instead of like an eyeshadow primer. And the concealer I'm using today is the Collection Lasting Perfection Concealer, which is that, in Praline 13, which is backwards, but fuck it. I just put it sort of here, because it's kind of like, yeah, and I use it as an eyeshadow base too. I don't even know why I'm feeling like this today, but I am in a weird kind of mood. I'm kind of, this is the thing, like, I feel like this is the issue with like sort of the dating scene these days. Like, I've met a lad, things are going good, or at least I think it is. But at the same time, it's kind of like we haven't really had that talk of like, okay, you're my boyfriend, you're this, you're that. Like, but at the same time, it's like, at this day and age, how can you say like, oh yeah, well, this is my boyfriend, without sounding like a teenager, basically. I just feel like it's just one of them, and I don't know. I just feel like sometimes, well, in the past, and I know it's stupid to sort of reflect on like past experiences and that, but it's all I've got to go on, really. But yeah, in the past it's been, well, it's felt like, with previous guys, it's felt more like I like them more than they like me. Like that I've got like stronger feelings than they've got, or whether they just don't express it. But I don't know whether that's just me being in my own head and sort of being like, I don't really have much experience with relationships. The ones I've had either have fizzled out after a month, or the one that lasted 7 years. Well, yeah, that didn't end so well, and it was more my feelings towards him that were stronger than his were towards me. And I feel like that's fucked with my head a lot. Just that sort of really shitty experience of dating a guy when I was 19 didn't really sort of, because I'm not really one to like date a lot. Like, I don't really care about it. Like, it's not a thing for me. Like, if I find a guy and I like him and he likes me and things are going well, and like, that's great. But then I don't know, sometimes it's like, it's either they don't have time for me, or it's just they're not interested. Well, not interested as much as I'm interested in them. But yeah, moving on. So for eyes, I'm going to be doing a mixture of this, the NYX Swear By It palette. I don't know what colours I'm using yet. I'm just going to sort of wing it. And the Iconic London palette. I think I'm going to start with this, actually. But yeah, the guy I'm seeing at the moment, I really like him. Like, we get on, and I don't know, I was saying to one of my friends that like I could kind of see myself falling for him, and like people I've spoken to that I get on with, like my brother from church, he already kind of approves, because I don't know, I guess it's just one of them where it's just like he just sounds better to him. Okay, so to start off with, I think I'm going to use either Ultimate Tan or Merlot Mondays, which is this one or this one. I think I'm going to start with this one because it's closer to sort of my natural sort of eyelid sort of colour, and then go in with that. And I'm using this Spectrum B, I don't know, yeah, B07 brush. I don't fucking know. I've never been great at relationships, to be honest. And I don't know whether that's just down to the fact that I've kind of got that mindset of like, I don't really give a shit. Well, it's not so much I don't give a shit, it's more of just like, I kind of have a tendency to protect myself so I don't get hurt. And so like, you know, if it does end and it's just, or I find out that he's not that interested, I don't get my hopes up, and it's not, you know, I'm not super hurt about it because I am protecting myself. But I don't know, with this guy, everything's just different. Like, usually I want to be friends with a guy first and then sort of see where it leads to from there. But with this guy, it's just, nah, like, fuck it. Like, usually I don't kiss a guy until like we actually start dating and that. But again, like from the second we met up, it was just like, I really want to kiss him. Like the first time we met, it was just like, alright, like I feel like I've known this guy for years, like even though it was like the first time we've met and that, and it's just, I don't know, we get on, or at least I think we do. From my perspective, we do anyways. I don't know about him. And, you know, there are things where we differ. Like, I am very opinionated, which, again, that's just me. And, you know, I am sort of in my own head a lot. And it's just one of them where it's just like my head's sort of all over the shop at times. And I don't know how to turn it off, basically. But he's a great guy. I know it is. But again, it's that, does he really like me, or is it just one of them where it's just out of convenience until he finds someone that's better suited to him? Which is stupid to think about, but it's how I'm wired, and it's just, I don't know. It's stupid to think like that, and I know that like there's this guy at work who makes how can I word it? He always like from like the second I started, I told him about my counselling and all that, like he was just like, you're a good person, you're this, you're that. And I know I am, but in my head I'm just like, okay, whatever. Like, I don't have anyone around me that tells me this sort of shit, and it freaks me out, and I just overthink shit, and it's just like he tells me shit, and I'm just like, okay, whatever, because I've had such a shitty relationship. That's 7 years of him just being like, well, your clothes smell funny, or you need to lose weight, or I don't like the way your hair looks, or it's just like, have you done this, have you done that? Like, nothing was ever good enough for him. And now I don't even know why I felt like it. And at one point my mum was ill, and he was just basically accused me of lying. Like, why the fuck would I lie about shit like that? And now it's really affected me. And like, trying to sort of move past it and get into another relationship is just hard now. And my colleague makes a point of telling me that, you know, that I'm a good person, I'm this, I'm that, like, I'm attractive, you know, and I shouldn't be so hard on myself. And it's just like, well, it's easier said than done. Like, I have no one around me to tell me shit like that. I've never met a bloke that's gone, you're attractive. No guy's ever said that to me. Like, okay, there was like one guy, but he didn't respect my, like, he was dishing out compliments, like he was fucking handing out sweets, and it was annoying the shit out of me. And I just want to be around a guy that I can have banter with and I can be myself with, and I don't know if I'm there yet, to be honest. I don't know. I don't know whether it's just the fact of like the way I am and just sort of like having to sort of protect my own feelings and that, and just overthinking shit. Yeah, like people are just like looking, like, you know, my colleague was just like, look in the mirror and you can see what I see. I'm just like, I don't see that. I don't see what other people see in me. I'm just me. Like, I've never liked the way I look. Yeah, my weight's always been an issue. That was always something I was insecure about, because my ex made me insecure about it. Like, he was always the one fucking commenting on it. You're making jokes and shit like that, and just making me feel like shit, man. And there are people, even at church, I don't trust people. And I know I should, but I don't. It's the simple thing to that, really. People will say, oh yeah, you're loved, you're this, you're that, and I'm just like, okay, whatever. And I know people are going to get fed up of like me being like, okay, whatever, and just sort of not talk to me anymore, but it's just my mindset. It's just how, I don't know how else to sort of turn it off, because it's just like, why now all of a sudden? It's like after my mum died, there was like this one woman at my church who never really spoke to me, to be honest. It was always very sort of like one-sided, and she'd speak to my sister more than me, which frankly I could care less about. But after my mum died, she was one of the first people to come over and be like, oh, I'm so sorry, blah blah blah, and made an effort to actually speak to me. I'm just like, why now, love? Like, well, because mum's gone, you're not going to bother with me. For all the years I've been at that fucking church, you've never once spoke to me, and now, nah. I don't know, I feel like, I think I'm still insecure about shit. But I kind of just brush it off and try and ignore it the best way I can. I know that, well, I don't really know what my colleague says is true, but then again, it's just like, why would he lie about shit like that? But again, it's just like, okay, well, maybe he should be nice. Which is just a daft thing to say, really, but I don't know, it's just how I think, really, and I know that my mindset needs to change, but it's not exactly going to happen overnight, though, really. But yeah, I'm just trying to work on it, but it's not easy. I'm not sure I know what's even what anymore, really. I think I know I overthink a lot of stuff, and it's just like, So if someone was like, you know, that's a lot older than me turned around and was just like, oh yeah, well, like, you know, say for example they turn around and be like, oh yeah, I fancy you. I'm like, no you don't. Like, don't lie. Because to me, that guy is what's the word, like, I don't know, it's just like, to me it's just like, well, I'm 30 and he's like a lot older and he's just like, oh yeah, well, you're, you know, I fancy you, I think you're attractive, I think you're this, you're that. I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, why should I believe the shit that comes out of your gob? Like, yes, I know he's got eyes and that's his mind and shit like that, but still, I don't know. It's one of them things where like my mind's just sort of the way my mind is wired and all the rest of it. And it's like, you know, they're like, oh yeah, well, you'll meet Mr. Right, you'll meet Prince Charming, blah blah blah. I'm like, okay, no, like, I don't believe in that bullshit. Like, you know, like, it's like my colleague was just like, oh yeah, well, hopefully this guy's the one. I'm just like, I don't know if he is or not. Like, I'm not holding out hope because I don't want to get hurt. I don't want it to sort of look like I've got fucking, I don't want to look stupid and be like, oh yeah, like, I've fallen for him, and then all of a sudden it's just, wow, I don't really like you like that. I don't know. Is my honest answer. It's just, my mind is kind of like, it's one of them where it's just like, I can't believe what people say sometimes. I feel like they're bullshitting me. Like, some people, yeah, like, I know they're telling the truth because I've known them for like years and that, and they've got no reason to lie to me. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know. I think it's just, I don't know whether it's just the way that my mind works now because of just sort of almost people pleasing, you know, with my ex. It just sort of like, you know, he was just like, I got my first tattoo done at 19, and I think this was before we started dating. And then he made me promise not to get any more tattoos done. And that was just like, why? Because that was his thing. He never liked tattoos, and so, as stupid as it sounds, I agreed to it. But looking back at it now, I should have been more assertive, opinionated. I don't really know what the word is, but okay, this is the Body Shop Foundation Fresh Nude in, don't know, does it say on the bottom? Medium 2W. There we go, for anyone interested. But yeah, look, I feel like I should have spoken up more, or ended it a lot sooner, because he really heightened my insecurities. Like, I was already insecure as it was, but he just sort of, the more I was with him, the more it was just fucking knocked up to like 50. So like, it could have been at like, I don't know, like a 10 maybe before I got with him. And then as I got older, I mean, being in mind, I was like 19 when we got together, so I was very young, and he was already 31, I think, 30, 31, so he was like roughly about my age that I am now. I don't know, I feel like it's just fucked my head up a bit, to be honest. I think in a way that I've never really thought about before, like the shit that he would say to me, and it's sort of sadly stuck with me, really. Excuse me. But yeah, it's just one of them where it's just like, as much as you shouldn't really sort of listen to that sort of bullshit and that sort of, it shouldn't be in that toxic environment. There was no one around me to sort of be like, apart from like my brother from church, he was the only one that didn't like him from the jump, and that should have been a red flag there and then. The fact that a guy that's known me since I was 13 doesn't like a guy I'm dating. But again, I didn't see it at the time. And why does that look up? Why does that eye look darker than that one? I need to work like that. I need to sort that out. But yeah, I feel like a lot of stuff, it's kind of like looking back at it now, I should have been like, yeah, this isn't good. This needs to change. Like, this shouldn't be happening, that sort of stuff. But I didn't. And like looking back at it now, like I 100% would have, actually no I wouldn't, to be honest. I was going to say I would have said something, but I probably would have still been the same. Like, I'm not, yes, I was opinionated back then, but it was just like, I was young and I thought I was in love. So I didn't say anything. Which is stupid now. Looking at it now, it's just like, but was you really? Because there was one time, where am I off brush? Am I sitting on it? Yes. Yeah, there was one time when we were dating, and I remember telling him, you know, as you do, that you love him and all the rest of it. And he basically said I say it too much, which makes no sense whatsoever, because like, you're telling me that you're telling that person that you're dating that you love them, and then they turn around and say, well, you're saying it too much. Like, the fuck? But yeah, like, I've always sort of, you know, I've always loved makeup and that, like, as I've gotten older, and that was another thing that was sort of an issue for him, and now I'm just like kind of taking that back and sort of finding my own sort of stamp on things. I don't know, to be honest. It's just like, I feel like relationships are hard work, which obviously they're bound to be, because obviously for them to work you need to put in that effort. But at the same time, I'm kind of scared of getting hurt again, of looking like a fucking twat, or finding someone that's genuinely interested without it leading to just sex, because that's not a relationship. Like, that's a fuck buddy, basically. And I don't want that. I don't want some guy that I can just fuck about with, you know, when he's got an itch to scratch or whatever, you know. No, I want to be able to sort of, you know, hang out and have a laugh and shit like that, and just be daft. I use the number 7 matte blush and the Maybelline bronzer, for those that want to know, which you probably don't. But yeah, I'm kind of pathetic, really. Well, not pathetic as such, but like, I don't know, I think it's stupid how he still bothers me. You know, it's just like, it's been 3 years now. Yeah, almost 3 years since we broke up. And but then again, I suppose it's one of them where it's just like, it's not gonna be one of those things you get over so easily, because that was 7 years of my life that I'm not gonna get back. So it's kind of one of them where it's just like, okay, what do I do now, sort of thing. How do I find a guy and know that he's that guy for me? I'm kind of just like, I mean, everyone gets hurt in relationships and shit like that, but I don't know, I'm kind of fed up of the whole dating scene, because it's just creeps mainly, and that's the opposite of what I want. You know, it's just, because I am very opinionated, I just want someone to sort of, you know, when I am being very opinionated, I just want someone to tell me to shut the fuck up. Or be able to sort of just sit and chat shit with me. You know, if something's happened at work, or, you know, my colleague, the one that I get on with mainly, the one that I talk to the most, is being a nose, and sort of have a whinge about him because he's doing my head in. Like, we were talking yesterday, and the prick was going on about Christmas, and how, like, you know, this one colleague of ours was putting up, like, he was going to be putting up mistletoe, and it'd either be the option of that one colleague or the colleague that I get on with. And I was just like, neither. I'm like, if I've got a choice, I'll fucking avoid it, man. Like, I ain't kissing either of yous. Like, but then I had a dream about it, and it fucking annoyed me, because I'm just like, that's him fucking saying it, and now it's in my head. And he obviously found it funny because he's a prick. But I don't know. I've never had someone like him around in my life before, that sort of, you know, he tells it like it is. He tells me off for, like, I mean, yeah, there's been people that tell me off for putting myself down and that, like, but he's just like, every time I see him, he's just like, when are you going to accept that you're a good person? When are you going to accept that what I say is true, and sort of just see what I see? I'm just like, and I don't know, it's not like I'm sort of purposefully, like, constantly putting myself down and shit like that. It's just how my mind works, you know. It's just one of them. I'm just myself, and it's just, no one really seems to be interested. Or, I don't know, it just goes to shit. And, like, people at church have been like, oh yeah, well, we'll find you a Christian husband, blah blah blah. I'm like, I don't want that shit. I don't want some fucking bloke trying to change me for who I am. Like, I am a Christian, but I swear, like anything, and my eyebrows look fucking dark as anything. That looks dodgy. But yeah, it's just, I don't know, to be honest. It's just like, how am I ever gonna find someone that, whether it's the guy that I'm seeing now, or whether it's gonna be someone else, I don't really know. I'm just, I haven't, like I said to my colleague in it, like, I don't get my hopes up, because what's the point in that? I've learned not to get my hopes up, because it never goes the way it's supposed to. And it's stupid to say, really, but it's how I think, it's what's true for me. I don't get my hopes up, because, well, what's the point in that? Because what's that gonna fucking lead to? Me looking like a right fucking numpty when, I don't know, like a month or two later down the line, he's just like, do you know what? This isn't working for me. And I'm just like, okay, great. Well, you know, I've practically fallen for you, so what the fuck do I do now? You know, I don't know. Relationships are hard, man. And I don't think, in one sense, I don't think I'm in the right headspace to be in a relationship. But on the other hand, it's just like, I've never had that sort of good experience of a relationships. So that could all change with this new guy. But I don't know. It's one of them where it's just like, my life has been put on hold for so long because my mum needed me basically. And so that became my life. And everything else was just like, okay, well fuck you then. I'm done. You don't want to be part of my life? Okay, well, good for you. Because I've got my mum to think about and she's my priority. But now, I have to focus on myself and it's just like, how do I do that? And people are just like, oh yeah, well you'll get there, blah, blah, blah. I'm just like, okay, whatever. Which is usually my answer to everything, to be honest. And I'm pretty sure my colleagues are going to get fed up of me. Well, especially the one I get on with, the one I trust. He's like the only one I trust, to be honest. The one that knows everything. Well, not everything, but most things about me. He's become my bestie. But I don't know, I just get the feeling that he may get fed up of being around me after a while because of the way I am. And I mean, obviously he's still going to talk to me at work and shit like that, but I don't know, it's just, this friendship is different because it's not one-sided. It's not all about them and it's not all about me. It's both of us. Like, he shares stuff with me and I share stuff with him. And that's it, really. But in my head I'm just like, okay, is this gonna last? Is he gonna get fed up of me because I'm quite negative? I don't know. It's just the way I think. And I am trying to sort of change my mindset on things and sort of be more positive because I know I'm like, if you bollocks to it. If you knew my colleague, if you met my colleague, you'd know that he's very on at me about being positive and all the rest of it and saying nice stuff about myself. And I'm just like, no, I can't do it. But yeah, it's just one of them where I'm working on it, but at the moment it's not easy. I don't know. But again, it's like, is this, I don't know if my mindset is like this because of that shitty relationship, or, you know, is it because like, is it because, like, you know, my dad wasn't around as I was getting older? Which I don't think it is. I don't think it's daddy issues because that's just bollocks. Because I got on really well with my dad. I mean, I wouldn't say I was a daddy's girl because I wasn't. I was closer to my mum than I was my dad. But still, it's just one of them. I don't know, I feel like I don't think there's like a definite answer to anything really. So I don't know. Look, it's not like I'm picky with guys that I date or whatever. Like, I just want someone I can talk to properly. And that's it. Like, that's like... It's like I got asked if there's like a specific guy that I fancy, or if I have like a type, which I don't. I honestly don't, because I don't know why I don't, to be honest. I think it's more of just like, well, look at me, I'm like, what, 5'6", 5'7", you know, got a bit of weight to me. I'm very opinionated. I can be quiet when I want to be. I can be very sarcastic as well. And not many guys like that. Not many guys find me interesting. So, you know, I've accepted the fact that I'm kind of like what they call like the funny friend over the years. So, fuck it. But who knows? Maybe like later down the line, my mindset will change. But for right now, it hasn't. So, yeah, that's that, and that's my little video for today. But I will just tell you quickly what I've used on my lips. And my mascara was what was my mascara? It was not Rimmel. What am I saying? Fucking Rimmel London. It's not Rimmel London. It's Revolution Beauty, which this is also Revolution Beauty. In TGIF, and then this is Maybelline. Yeah, Maybelline New York Brown Sugar. And that completes my look. I usually have my hair down when I do makeup videos, but my hair's like a mess and it needs washing. I can't be asked to wash it yet. So, if you want to leave a comment on how I can sort of change my mindset or whatever, or if you've got suggestions on any other videos that I can do, let me know. And yeah, thanks for watching.